Hi there folks, my name's NovaWing24 and welcome to a preview of Dovetail Games' upcoming flight school. I have been very fortunate in the fact that Dovetail Games has reached out to me and they provided me with a preview copy of Flight School. So at this stage Flight School is scheduled for release on the 24th of May through Steam and eventually through the Windows store as well. Now, as I want to stress here that that this is a preview build, as you can probably see here on the middle of the screen here. This is a preview build, so this is not the final build that we're going to see. But we've been very limited with the amount of footage that's been available for Flight School so far. So I'm extremely grateful to Martin and Amy and the team over at Dovetail Games for sending me this preview copy to have a look at. But I do want to stress that this is a preview. This is not the final. This is not the final build. This is not the one that will be hitting simulation skies on the 24th of May. But I think it might be a great way to for us to have a look at and experience some of the things that are coming forward in to Flight School. So alright, so I'm going to be doing a series of videos on this. So we're going to start today just with a quick introduction and just into the layout and what we're going to see is sort of like the layout, at least as much as it is. So pretty much when you first enter Flight School, it's kind of got a cool little thing actually, which are kind of like it asks you to enter in your name and all the usual stuff and whatever. But then it asks you to select your home country, and then it sets your home airport, and then it actually allows you to set your home airport, which actually comes through down here. So we'll cover that off. Well, actually, no, we'll cover that off now. So if you go to Free Flight, what it will do is that it will actually show you at your home airport. So I've chosen my home airport as it actually is, which is Brisbane International, so Yankee Bravo Bravo November. So I've set that as my home airport, and then here we are. So here are the two aircraft that are going to be shipping with Flight School. So it's going to be the PA-18, the Piper Super Cub, and also the Piper Cherokee as well. So now, as I said, the hangar is pretty small, but in this way it kind of reminds me of like, the hangar started off small and then slowly grew, so there you go. But you may notice, okay, there's only one livery, okay, but then we've got, of course, here we've got the view livery section here as well. So you can see that it looks like it's going to be shipping with 4 different liveries for the Piper Super Cub. Unfortunately, there's no way to sort of rotate it. Yeah, that's a little annoying, but also kind of cool. But I guess I understand it as well. So yeah, we've got the 4 liveries, including one for the flight school that we're going to be one of the flight schools that we go to, which we'll get to in just a moment. And then the other aircraft, of course, is the Piper Cherokee. So it's a Cherokee 180 Echo. So we've got this one here. Now you get there. We've got a nice blue one, green one, red and white stripes, and then we've got 2 in the Eagle Pilot School, which is our US flight school that we go to for our private pilot's license. Not quite sure what's the difference in these 2 models, because there are 2 of them and they are different. So, but there you go. So anyway, so they're your 2 aircraft that come shipped with it, and of course, if you pre-ordered, you will also get everyone will eventually get access to the Diamond Twin Star as well. But those who pre-order will get it early as well. So there you go. Alright, so we'll skip back out of our hangar for now. So let's go through some of these buttons here. Actually, no, we'll go back to our hangar. We'll just select the Piper for now, and then we'll go. So down here, it's a very simple layout. So it's sort of backwards and forwards, that kind of stuff. And then you can go here, so you can go plan your flight. So unlike with FSX and P3D, where it would actually sort of just, you just sort of select starting airport and that was it, and flight planning was optional. Flight planning is still optional here. You can sort of just say you want to start at an airport and that's it. But it actually has an integrated flight planner as well that exports it straight to a PLN. Well, actually, I don't actually know if it's a PLN file. I haven't actually dug that far into it yet. But it does sort of preload it into the aircraft's GPS. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look here. So we've got our home airport of Brisbane, and zoom in, and we've got sort of, it's kind of cool. It's got like integrated sort of like mapping. I'm assuming they got maybe this from OpenStreetMaps or something. So there you go. Right, so we're going to start here at Brisbane, and then we're going to head over to the what should we head up to? We'll head out to the end. We can head out to the NDB over at Archfield. There we go. So just drag yourself around there, and then we can head out. Then from there we can sort of go to another airfield or stuff like that. So, and you can just put a waypoint down if you want to as well. Now the flight plan does have to end back at an airport, and which is something that's really interesting as well. The flight time that you have, so you can see up here in the corner here, I've got a little bit of time already in the Piper, just from testing it out. But the time only counts when you actually land back at an airport again. If you don't land back at an airport, the hours you've spent flying don't count, which is kind of interesting and kind of cool. I kind of like the fact that it does that. So, for example, here, so there we go. We can do our thing, and then you just right-click to stop the planning. There you go. And of course you can go through and you can delete stuff like that as well if you want. So what we're going to do is we'll go and delete that for now. Now before we actually go into a flight, because we will do a short flight, but before we do that we'll go back to our main menu here. So we'll go into the things. So we'll start from the right here. So we've got settings. So settings are fairly basic. So your general options sort of just show the very much the ATC. So this kind of stuff's very familiar, but just in a new layout from the old FSX. So you got your units of measurement. You get US, hybrid, or metric. So you'll be using a hybrid system because that's what we use here in Australia. Because we use QNH, not inches, we use QNH, so there you go. But yeah, so basic stuff here that we see before, uses just pilot voice. Graphics support here, again, the options here are fairly limited, but don't forget that this is not designed as an FSX replacement. This is designed as something for those who have been looking into getting into flight simming, but have always been a little bit intimidated, or a bit turned off by it, or just not sure about it. This is designed to make it a bit simpler and easy to do. Now the multi-monitor cockpit side of things isn't really working at the moment. They are working on that, and that should be ready for once the full one is released. Usual full screen and non-full screen. As I said, fairly limited basic options there. There we go. Then over onto our audio, so just your basic things. So you got your, again, fairly basic, just your basic sliders, and there's the stuff like that. There you go, done. Now of course controls. Now control types, so it goes through, you've got your various, calibration keyboards, buttons, keys, and axes. You got your different controllers, so auto detects whatever controllers you've got. So it starts with, of course, your mouse, your yoke, Xbox 360 controllers, blah blah, and of course my Cytec gear that I've got connected here as well. And you go through your basic all events, simulation events, blah blah blah. So for those who've been who are familiar with FSX and P3D, this will be all sort of very similar to you. But for everybody else, it's a good idea just to go through these and just get an idea of what each button does and stuff like that. These are fully customizable, fully rebindable. You're not limited to leaving at just what it is, but it is a good idea for you to go through and observe some of these controls. As I said, you can reset all of these. Most of the basic ones, though, will come through. Will be taught to you throughout the flight lessons as well. So that's good to know. So again, Alright, now moving on from that, now we've got Realism Settings. So Realism Settings, so these are the sort of things. Now by default these sliders, these flight model sliders, are all the way to the left. So the left being easy, right being hard. Me personally, I do all these ones and just a crash tolerance. You know what? I know when I've crashed. I know when I've crashed with the crash tolerance. I leave down the bottom there. Various, again, turn on and off as you need, just simple radio buttons just to simply do that one, so nice and easy to do. Fairly simple and fairly basic controls, as I said, and set up there as well. Pilot details you can go through. So if you do want to change your home and change your country, you can go through that. You can change your home airfield and stuff like that as well, so it's nice and easy for you to do. And lastly, of course, we have the contributors and the credits for the wonderful team from Dovetail Games that brought it through. Now, what was interesting reading through this one is, of course, we already know that Orbix had a big part to play in Flight School and the upcoming flight sim with some of their textures, but we've also got credits here that looks like Skyhawk Games and Turbulent Design also helped out with some of the airports and other features as well, so good to see. So there you go, that's the run through the settings. Alright, now of course we've got these other two icons here. So we've got our flight training. So as you would have heard from the, as you've seen many press releases, or even if you haven't, there are two flight schools that you have options available to you in Dovetail Games Flight School. So the one in Europe, which is Walton Flying Club. So this one is for the Light Aircraft Pilot's License, or LAPL. So this is various different names around the world. So in the US, for example, it's called a Sports Pilot's License. In Australia, it's called a Recreational Pilot's License. It's basically for you to it's your gateway to the sky, and sort of like it's a great way for people who don't do a lot of flying or sort of just want to get a taste of it. It's a great way for you to explore it. This is actually I'm on my road to my recreational pilot's license here in Australia. So yeah, this is the one that I'm going for. So this is the UK-based flight school, which is gives you a lot of lessons in the Super Cub. And then of course we've got our other flight school, which is Eagle Pilot School over in Arizona. So this one's Prescott Municipal Airfield and in Arizona. So this is for where you'll mostly be flying the Piper Cherokee. So this one's more focused around your actual private pilot's license, so your actual PPLs. So these are structured around, and both of these are the plans of these and the syllabus of these are based on the actual real world versions of this. So you know, there's a lot of training. This, you know, Lockheed Martin sort of pushed themselves as more the real training thing, but they didn't really do a lot with it beyond that. They were sort of far more focused on you're just sort of getting a product out there. But whereas I sense with Flight School they're really actually sort of going, you know what, let's go for the simulated experience, which is more than just a simple, you know, put an airplane in the sky. This is actually no, we're going to actually teach you, you know, how to fly and stuff like that. So that's a really cool feature. So there are two flight schools that we have available to us at the moment. I'm looking at that and thinking there's going to be more eventually. And the final icon that we have down here as well is the missions tab. So there is a selection of missions which come pre-bundled with it. I'm guessing again that we're going to see this expand at some point in the future. Basic color coding, so you know, green is easy, blue is medium, red is hard, and this goes through various different things which will actually challenge you and your piloting skills and stuff like that to go through. So we've got some beautiful missions out here in Alaska. We've got some stuff going through Canada, and we've got going to Greenland and the northern tips of the UK. We've got Europe, and of course continental US as well. So I just feel that we're going to see more missions coming in the future. Will they be paid DLC? Will they be free? I don't know. Time will tell. But this is a great selection. Who knows, there might even be more coming out when it comes to actual when the release comes. As I said, folks, just a reminder, this is a pre-release build. This is just simply a show off what it can do. Now, pretty much enough of me waffling so far. Oh, sorry, no, I better show off one last thing. So this is this little icon up here. This is your pilot profile. So this allows you to go through and you can see the qualifications that you have, so the hours that you need towards your light aircraft pilot and your private pilot's license. So it goes through, tracks you through your different lessons that you go through, and all the way up through to when you eventually do your skills test as well. So that's so, and we'll be covering some of these off in some future videos. Then we've just got some interesting stats here. So we've got total flight time, sort of just, again, this is like your logbook but just in a slightly kind of cooler little format there. And it goes through some of the, of course, yes, you do have Steam achievements. Steam achievements and Windows Games Windows Live achievements are going to be present in this game, and as you can see, I've picked up a couple already. And then of course finally you've got your mission tracking as well, so it shows you how you're going on missions. Did you score the required number of points and stuff like that? So again, yeah, it's probably, that's more probably the game side of things, but yeah, it's still interesting and gives you an indication of how far you've got to go. Actually, I might just quickly show you that as well. So you notice here as well, solo flight time. So you do the lessons, that's counted as doing these with instructions, with an instructor. But then in order before you can get ready for your actual skills test, you actually still need to do some solo flight time. So that's just you flying around in free flight, getting some time, flying around and practicing the skills that you've got. And that will lead you towards then getting enough hours up before you can go and do your skills test. So just be aware that it's not just about check a couple of boxes and you're done. You still have to also actually practice those skills as well. And time on the ground doesn't count, folks. It really doesn't count. And there you go. And remember, you've got to land in order for that time to count. Alright, that's enough of me waffling now. Let's go on a quick flight. So we're going to have a look. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick little flight. We're going to do a nice simple one from my home airport. So we're going to do this in the... we'll do this in the Super Cub, I think. It gives us a chance to go a bit slow. I like that one. And you know what? I like the yellow livery. Let's run with that one. Okay, so we're going to select that as our aircraft today. So we're going to go from my home airport just to another airport just north of Brisbane here. We're going to go up to Redcliffe. So what we're going to do is we're going to start our journey here. We're going to follow the coast around here. There we go, and then we're going to go across into Redcliffe there. There we go. Okay, so that's going to be our little journey there today. Now what we're going to do is, so we can set our sort of our time and season and stuff like that. So let's have a look. So let's do this. Let's make this. Let's do about 2 in the afternoon. That sounds good. So working out it's the right day, and by the way, may the 4th be with you. I'm recording this on Star Wars, the International Star Wars Day, of course. So may the 4th be with you. And let's have a look at some weather conditions. Let's do some fair weather. We'll get some clouds and see how the clouds, because I know you're all dying to see what the graphics look like. All right, so we'll start here. We've got our flight plan done. We've got our start and our destination all good. I think we're just about ready to go. So let's file our flight plan. We'll just load it all up now. Now in terms of hardware, folks, just so you know, what I'm using today is I'm using my Cytec X55 Rhino. I'm not using any rudder pedals at the moment, and I'm using Track IR, and I've got an Xbox 360 pad just simply for looking around stuff as well. So there you go. I'm not using that for any kind of control at the moment. All right, so now. So when you first start off, now this is one thing I don't know if this is going to change. You automatically start paused, and you start on the active runway. Not sure whether I like that particular part or not. At the moment, I haven't figured out at least, or if there is a way to be able to change to start at a parking spot or something like that. But at the moment, you seem to only start at the active runway. So there you go. All right, so you start pause, so you're sort of doing your pre-flight to make sure everything's there. And then of course what we're going to do now is we're going to fly. Alright. Looking pretty good. So first things first. So just look on the outside there, so this is it's actually quite a nice model of this Cub as well, and oh, we even have it looks like we even got a passenger along for the ride on this model. There you go. How there? No, that's kind of cool. So yeah, the model's looking pretty nice. The reflection's looking really nice. So in terms of the scenery though, and we might go for an orbit over Brisbane as well here. The scenery essentially is very reminiscent of FSX. Graphically, it looks better. So probably the benefit of the fact that it's running DX11 and the fact that it's 64-bit, and those clouds are a lot nicer too, don't they? Okay. All right, cool. All right. Anyway, enough of that. Let's jump into the aeroplane. All right, in our cockpit there, and we're not going to Cub. We definitely don't need all this runway. All right, throttle forwards. You know, I've always loved Cubs. I've always loved Cubs, even from back in the day, especially back in the Microsoft Flight days. I just love Cubs. They just leap into the air. They are absolutely amazing. They really are. It's just okay. This sounds really quite nice as well. It's definitely not just a clone of any other previous one. This is actually a really nice sounding one. Alright, so we'll have a quick look around here. So in terms of instruments, so yeah, you only have the basic ones with included with the two default aircraft. So we've got the GPS 295, which of course those who've had F6 before will be very familiar with. I'll just hide that all out of the way on my other screen. Now beyond that, you get your radio. So you get your radios coming through there. ADF, and I think, and your transponder. Pretty sure, and just all stacked together. So that's pretty much, yeah, said it's basic. It's a basic instrument aircraft. Like, it doesn't really have a lot anyway. But yeah, it's the shift pop-up. So you bring those up as a shift pop-up, or you can simply explore around the cockpit and see those yourself. So again, just these sort of default views. We've got a little radio stack down there. It goes back to our viewpoint here. And one of the things that I do notice now, I know there was a lot of things sort of said about when the first sort of screenshots started emerging of flight school. Everybody said it was the blue simulator and stuff like that. Yeah, I do still, there is a blue tinge to it, but it is very much the horizon sort of edging that it is there. And I think I anticipate that we'll probably get some form of sliders to adjust that in the future. Well, yeah, I hope that we do. But I don't. It's not. I think it was just the screenshots that we saw that made it incredibly noticeable. For me, it's fairly unobtrusive, and it actually looks quite nice. It sort of does that as it sort of hazes off into the distance. So I don't see. I don't see the blue nightmare that so many other people have seen. And, let me know what you guys think in the comments, of course, of this video here. Now the textures and much of the autogen is supplied, or is either from sort of adapted from by Dovetail Games themselves, but a lot of the textures for the ground and the trees and the like have been supplied by Orbix. So essentially, by default, the Flight School will essentially come with the 64-bit version of FTX Global included there, and it did, you know what, it definitely does give you something, especially in some of the Alaskan areas. It does give you something in terms of the tree volume and stuff like that. I will admit, one thing I was looking for, I was seeing, I haven't seen any speed trees yet. Looking through the manual and what little exploration I've done since I've got this, I only got this a few hours ago, that doesn't look like speed trees are something that's included as part of this package. But yeah, knowing that Dovetail have used speed trees before for their fishing simulator, I would not be surprised if we see that coming by at some point in the near future. Just getting to our waypoint here, we'll just turn on course heading towards Red Cliff. Definitely does. It's definitely a lot. It's definitely far graphically superior to FSX. And I would, you know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this is as good as, if not better than, default P3D version 3. I really am. It doesn't have there are a few things that it doesn't have yet. But again, as I said, this is flight. We also got to remember that one. This is Flight School, not the full flight sim, which is coming out, which hopefully will come out later in 2016. But beyond that, it is flight school. It is not the flight sim. So you know, and this is also an alpha/beta pre-release one for press. So yeah, this is not the final polished product, but I think it's still giving us a good example of some of the things that we're going to expect, and that's why I've chosen to do these videos as well, just to say, you know what, yes, I know we're not quite, you know, it's not quite 100% yet, it's not the same as what we're going to get in a few weeks' time, but it still gives us a chance to actually see it and see experience, give us a bit more of an experience of what it's going to be like, or hopefully what it may be like once it actually releases. Pitch down a little bit there, because we're coming in close to Redcliffe now. I know this bridge very, very well. Now, some of the things that I know I've seen her before is in terms of ATC. And I might just quickly do that here. Let's go to departure.
Brisbane departure. Piper Golf Papa Uniform Delta Lima is type Piper 4 miles south of Yankee Romeo equals Echo Delta. Request flight following. Piper Golf Papa Uniform Delta Lima Brisbane departure 45225. Squawk 5225. Piper inform Delta Lima. Piper 4 Delta Lima radar contact 3 miles south of Yankee Romeo equals Echo Delta 1000 UNA 1013. Copy. Piper inform Delta Lima.
And there you go. So the ATC is still very similar to what we've seen before in P3D FSX. But what you've noticed there is that it's using a voice-to-text system, which is kind of cool, and it means that I mean, cause, one of the big issues that FSX always had was the fact that, you know, with add-on, with extra aircraft and whatever, the in-game ATC just couldn't wrap its tongue around what it was, because it wasn't one of the sound bites that had been recorded. So whereas this way then it actually uses a text-to-speech, it'll read the text and it'll enunciate it, which is kind of cool, and gives a bit more of an experience as well. And I like the way that it does it. It sounds a little robotic here and now and again, but it's still probably quite good. Mostly very British accents, which you know, I
departure. Piper Victor Hotel Yankee Sierra Tango is type Piper 3 miles northeast of Archer. Request flight following.
And yes, by the way, there is AI traffic, and there's quite a lot of it too. Anyway, so I'm going to be coming here to Redcliffe. So I'm going to tune into Redcliffe traffic. Here, okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in for landing on 07. We're going to full stop, and we're going to do our crosswind leg.
Yankee Romeo equals Echo Delta traffic. Piper Golf Papa Uniform Delta Lima is on crosswind. Runway 7.
Now we may have got FTX Global, but we didn't get the airports from Orbix, but the runway textures already look far better than what they did in default, so in the old default FTX, so I see that. So anyway, so we're going to start slowing down, we're going to crosswind, get a teardrop here, throttle back, leg.
Yankee Romeo equals Echo Delta traffic. Piper Golf Papa Uniform Delta Lima is on base. Runway 7.
Laps in. One of the reasons why I picked Brisbane area is that it's actually fairly intensive on frame resources as well. And the system's running quite well. I haven't got an FPS monitor up, but it seems to be holding it quite nicely. I don't have any issues with this one.
Yankee Romeo equals
we will do another test over at Seattle, because that's always been known as the benchmarking for the ESP-based platform, was always to could go in and do a flight in and out of Seattle. That was always sort of the benchmark point. Alright. Flaps down there. Oop, watch that. 38 knots stall speed on the old Cub. And a nice, I think I even got a 3-point landing for that one, so there you go. And as you can see, that now that we've touched down an airport, it actually popped me up with a little annunciator up on the top right there, letting me know that my flight hours just got logged. So I currently have just over 2 hours of solo flight time in the simulator, so that's not too bad. So we'll taxi to our parking here. That's right, just the CTAF. We don't have to. We don't announce that one. Announce that I'm clear of the runway here. And yes, Redcliffe only has like the 2 exits, pretty much one at each end of the airstrip. Alrighty. So far the experience has been pretty good. As I said, there's there are a couple of bugs in it so far, but as I said, this is a sort of a preview copy, much similar to those who are fortunate enough to catch up with the flight school team at a couple of the public events they've been at recently. This is pretty much the build that you guys would have experienced. So it's got a couple of issues here and there, but it's still giving us a good insight into what it is. So yeah, as I said, I just wanted to take this opportunity to quickly share this with you and share this short flight with you, and sort of go through. Yeah, you know what? I will be doing a few more of these preview videos coming up over the next few days and few weeks. So keep an eye on that one, folks. So keep an eye on the channel and ready for a couple of those videos to come forward. Go. Back on. Engine off. There we go. Right. It's my tanks. Door open. There we are. So that's the first flight in Dovetail Games flight school. So thank you for joining me on this little quick little flight here. Yeah, as I said, this is so far looking quite good. I'm so far fairly impressed by it. As I said, I only had a chance to be in here for about 2 hours or so. So haven't got a lot of time in sim yet. But overall, it's looking pretty good, and I'm pretty impressed by what I'm seeing so far. So time shall tell. Alright folks, well as I said, thank you very much for joining me. My name's been Novawing24. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these videos and want to see more. And of course, as always, you can catch up with me and all the things I'm up to between videos by finding me on Facebook and on Twitter. Just search Novawing24. Alright folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.